Card grading, along with card collecting, has exploded in popularity over the past decade, transforming from a niche hobby for serious collectors into a booming global phenomenon. What started with sports cards back in the days has now expanded to One Piece, Pokemon, and countless other collectible card games. Just last year, grading companies like PSA processed over 20 million cards. That's a massive jump from just hundreds of thousands of cards graded only a few years ago. In fact, grading volumes have surged by more than 50% over the past 2 years, and projections suggested in 2025 more than 25 million cards will be graded. Thanks to online marketplaces, influencer hype, and the recent surge of collectibles as serious investments, card grading doesn't seem to stop growing, becoming an essential part of today's card collecting world. But is grading something you should do too? Is it really worth it? And if so, should you grade your One Piece cards? Today we'll answer all those questions and more as I walk you through everything you need to know in my ultimate card grading guide. Hello internet and welcome to my channel, TCG Monkey here. Let's start by answering the main question. Why do people grade their cards? Well, there is more than one reason. First, grading verifies authenticity. This is especially important if you're dealing with expensive One Piece, Pokemon or other TCG cards. Grading companies confirm that your card is the real deal, giving both you and potential buyers peace of mind. Grading cards provides a professional and consistent assessment of your card's condition. Companies like PSA, BGS and CGC use standardized grading scales to evaluate the quality of your card. This aims to take the guesswork out of self-assessment, so you know exactly where your card stands. Grading can seriously increase your card's resale value. High grades, like PSA 10 or BGS 9.5 and above, often sell for multiples of what a raw card would fetch. A slabbed card also builds buyers' trust and reduces uncertainty, making it easier and quicker to sell. The value difference between a top grade card and a raw or lower grade one can be exponential. Grading also helps you preserve and protect your card. Once graded, your card gets sealed inside a hard plastic slab that guards against bending, dust, fingerprints and even harmful UV light. Compared to just a sleeve or a top loader, this offers way better protection against everyday wear and tear. And finally, slabs look great for showcasing and displaying your collection. They give your cards a clean, professional look, which is perfect for showing off your prized prices. Many collectors take pride in having a collection full of pristine, high-grade cards. That's great, right? But how does grading actually work? When you send a card to a grading company, 2 or more graders independently score it based mainly on 4 key factors: centering, corners, edges, and surface. Each factor is scored individually, and then those scores get averaged into a final grade. Let me break down each one so you can pre-check your own cards and get a better idea of what grade they might receive if you ever decide to submit them. First up, centering. This is all about how well the artwork is aligned within the card's borders, both front and back. Different companies have slightly different tolerance levels, but generally, a perfect gem min 10 means the front centering is around 55 to 45 or better, meaning the left and right borders are nearly even in width, and about 60 to 40 or better on the back. For example, if the artwork shifts a bit to the left so the left border is thicker than the right, it might still get a 9 if it's within tolerance. But if it's clearly off center, you could be looking at an 8 or even lower. To check at home, you can measure with a card centering kit or scan the card in high resolution and use an online centering tool. Next up, corners. For a 10, corners need to be razor sharp. Under magnification, a gem mint corner looks like a perfect point. No whitening, no soft edges, no fraying. A 9 might show a tiny bit of whitening on one corner, visible only under strong light. Many collectors miss corner flaws because they only inspect with the naked eye, but graders use powerful magnifiers to spot even the tiniest of white specks. Edges are the long sides of the card, and for a 10 they have to be smooth with no chips, whitening or rough factory cuts, while a 9 might have a tiny chip or slight whitening in one spot. To inspect your card, tilt it in the light and carefully check the transition between the front, edge and back. Finally, the surface. And this is often the biggest grade killer. A flawless 10 surface has no scratches, print lines, fingerprints or holofoil defects, while a 9 might have one very light scratch or print line that's only visible at certain angles. Factory defects, like small ink dots, foil bubbling or roller marks, also count against the grade. To inspect it, shine a strong angled light across the surface and slowly tilt the card to reveal hidden scratches and dents. A Gem Mint 10 isn't just a looks good to me card. It's almost perfect within extremely tight tolerances across all 4 factors. Even one small flaw in any category can drop a card from a 10 to a 9 or lower. In fact, many cards that come straight from packs don't even earn a 10, so it's really tough to get one. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more One Piece TCG content. Thanks so much for the support. So you have a card that looks pristine and you want to submit it to grading. But who should you trust to grade your cards? There are several big grading companies out there, each with its pros and cons. PSA is the most globally recognized and probably has the highest market trust. They offer strong resale value, a clean and simple label, and a massive population database. During peak times though, turnaround can be slow, and this is not their only downside. It is known in the community that the grade can sometimes vary if you resubmit the same card, as it might depend on whether the graders are having a good day or not. Then there's BGS, known for its detailed subgrades that look at centering, corners, edges and surface separately, which PSA doesn't provide. Their famous black label for perfect 10s is super difficult to obtain and thus very sought after. The slabs are a bit bulkier, and resale value can sometimes be lower than PSA for certain cards. The last one of the big grading companies is CGC, which started out big in comic grading but has grown rapidly in the trading card space. They also have accurate grading with subgrades, but resale values can be a bit lower than PSA or BGS. Ace grading is gaining a lot of traction in the TCG community. Their biggest selling point, in my opinion, is the stunning aesthetic of their slabs. They feature colorful labels that match the card's artwork, making for a really stylish presentation. However, Ace still has limited global recognition, which means resale values tend to be lower compared to the big players. And lastly, there's Tag, an innovative newcomer that uses AI-driven imaging and precise scanners to grade cards without human bias. This means consistent results every time, with no good day bad day grading differences. They provide detailed digital grading reports with high-resolution scans and offer frameless transparent slabs with NFC chips and QR codes, which I particularly like. That said, Tag is still building market recognition, so resale values aren't quite on par with PSA or BGS yet. I'm not sponsored by any of these grading companies, so choose the one you like the most, but I have to say my favorite ones are Tag and Ace, purely for display reasons. Of course, grading isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are downsides and risks to keep in mind. First off, the cost can add up quickly. Grading fees from companies like PSA, BGS or CGC start from roughly $20 per card, and it can be way more if you want faster service. Plus, you have to pay for shipping and insurance, both ways, which can get expensive, especially for valuable cards. So if your card is only worth around $20 raw, grading might never make financial sense. Then you have the time factor. Economy services can take months, especially when demand is high. By the time your card comes back, the market value might have dropped, which is frustrating if you were looking to sell it. Also, as we saw before, many companies rely on professional graders, human beings who can be subjective. The same card can get different grades depending on the day or even the grader. Plus, grading standards vary between companies, adding more uncertainty. There's also the chance of damage during transit. Even with careful packaging, cards can get lost or damaged, and insurance claims can be slow and stressful. Finally, once your card is slabbed, it's basically sealed in forever. Removing it without cracking the slab is almost impossible, and if you try to crack it open to resubmit or place it in your binder, you risk to damage it. So should you actually grade your cards? And if yes, which ones? For One Piece cards, the printing quality is really high, which means pack-fresh cards often get top grades. Because of that, a perfect 10 isn't that much more valuable than a raw copy, and a 9 is almost seen as a failure. So grading might not always be the most practical choice here. If you're grading just to preserve your collection or for peace of mind, I'd recommend only submitting extremely expensive cards, like manga rares or high-value special rares. Those are the ones where grading might really make sense. Now, what about buying graded cards versus raw copies? If you care about condition, buying graded cards is definitely the safest bet, even if it's more expensive. Also, buying graded cards usually protects you from fakes or proxies, but the risk is never zero. Scammers have gotten pretty good at making fake slabs with counterfeit cards inside. While there are ways to verify if a slab is genuine, it's not always easy for beginners. Personally, I prefer to buy my One Piece cards as raw copies for all these reasons, with the only exception being manga rares and special cards, which I prefer to get graded for both preservation and authenticity, especially given how much they're worth. That was it for today's video. What do you think about card grading? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon with a new video. TCG Monkey out.